Donald Trump and Natalie Harp, his so-called human printer, and some people call her something else, just got sued together. Let me repeat that. Trump and Natalie Harp were just named in a major federal lawsuit together. Both defendants, just like in that food truck that you both were in together in Turkey. More on that in a moment. They are both being sued by major press organizations for the Truth Social API scheme, where they give preferential access to Wall Street firms and anybody else who pays $100,000 a month to access this special API feature. And these press groups are saying you are infringing on our First Amendment rights to be able to timely report on, I don't know, things like what Trump and Natalie Harp may be doing together, but separately about your corrupt regime that we've been reporting on by selling preferential access to Wall Street firms. So let's just go through the lawsuit. Let's go through everything. So Trump sued over Truth Social Advanced Access sale is the headline, and it's this Truth Social API. Wall Street firms get $100,000 if they pay $100,000 a month. They get preferential access to Donald Trump's social media posts, which could enable them to get insider trading information or to be able to trade before others get access to all of Donald Trump's market manipulation that Trump is involved in with this catastrophic and unlawful war. I got to dig into this lawsuit because it's a powerful lawsuit that was filed in the Southern District of New York. But I also want to talk about Natalie Harp because she was sued in the lawsuit as well. And there was the reporting also at the same time today that Natalie Harp was Donald Trump's first pick to go inside of the catering truck in Turkey. This is what the Daily Mail reported. Inside that catering truck also sat Trump's most trusted inner circle. A source familiar with the matter told the Daily Mail that in particular, 35-year-old Natalie Harp's selection to ride safely with Donald Trump was a no-brainer. She was Donald Trump's first pick. And isn't she also looking awfully a lot like Ivanka? Doesn't Donald Trump say the certain things about Ivanka? Didn't he say certain things to Stormy Daniels about Ivanka and Stormy Daniels looking like Ivanka? Real reason Trump chose glamorous aide Natalie Harp for secret plane swap was the Daily Mail article. Well, now Natalie Harp, you've been sued. So why is Natalie Harp sued? Because she's Donald Trump's human printer. And I'm interested to see what that discovery will show about Natalie Harp's connections with Donald Trump also. Let's get that discovery. But you had The Intercept is one of the organizations that sued. The Freedom of the Press Foundation sued, and they sued Trump. They sued Natalie Harp. They sued Dan Scavino and the executive office of the president, and they sued the White House. Why'd they sue Harp? Because she's one of the two people in charge of Donald Trump's social media account. So she's the one making a lot of these posts for Donald Trump, which move the market significantly. Let's take a look at the lawsuit. Here's the complaint. Donald Trump is charging $100,000 per month for advanced access to his official government announcements on Truth Social, the social media platform he owns. This scheme is extraordinary, corrupt, and unconstitutional, and plaintiffs bring this case to stop it. President Trump's created Truth Social in 2021 and remains its parent company's largest shareholder. With the help of other defendants in this case, like Natalie Harp, she's involved in the conspiracy. Natalie, you're involved. Trump frequently and exclusively posts official government announcements on Truth Social, declaring military attacks and subsequent ceasefires, hiring and firing agency heads, and announcing major domestic policies. Last month, Truth Social's parent company announced an outstanding scheme starting August 1, 2026. Truth Social would charge up to $100,000 per month for users to get early access to market-moving messages from the president and other officials on the platform. At the same time, its CEO announced that the company would take steps to prevent users from systematically gathering or scraping posts from the platform. The scheme is now live, and paying customers are already gaining advanced access to official government announcements. Indeed, in the Truth Social last financial report, where they lost nearly $300 million for the second quarter alone in 2026, for the past 3 months, basically, that they had to report, they lost almost $300 million. The only area where they were making some money was this Truth Social API, where there were 10 Wall Street firms, it appeared, who bought this access, and they were paying $100,000 per month. Just think about that sick and deranged, unlawful scheme, in my opinion. It goes on to say, this scheme is profoundly corrupt. The president stands to gain financially by giving market-moving government information to those who are willing and able to pay his personal company. What the hell? This scheme is also unconstitutional. The First Amendment guarantees equal access to the president's public announcements, and even content-neutral burdens on that access must be narrowly tailored to serve a significant government interest. There is no legitimate interest, let alone a significant one, in permitting President Trump to profit from selling government information. Similarly, the Fifth Amendment prohibits charging unreasonable sums that cannot be justified to offset the cost of the government benefit, and granting preferential access to crucial government information for arbitrary and irrational reasons, as is the case here, is unlawful. Plaintiffs are harmed by the president's illegal scheme. The Intercept Media Inc. is an award-winning nonprofit investigative news organization that frequently covers the president's post. Freedom of the Press Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports public interest journalism and operates the Trump Anti-Press Social Media Tracker database, which aggregates and categorizes the president's Truth Social posts attacking the media. Both face indefinitely delayed access to the president's latest posts and face permanent bars to the president's archive posts, making it harder for both organizations to do their jobs. The Constitution guarantees the public officials can themselves have no pecuniary interest or proprietorship as against the public at large in the fruits of their official labors. Citing Banks v. Manchester, 1888, the president is profiteering and profiting by selling government information that is illegal. Plaintiffs bring this case to stop it. An elegant, eloquent, legally powerful lawsuit, and it is so great to see media organizations leading the way as the Department of Justice has become a criminal cartel, its own racketeering entity covering up child sex trafficking rings and facilitating the crime, as the Treasury Department working with their financial crime division to delete the beneficial ownership database to promote money laundering. While you have that conduct taking place, it is amazing to see the new media out there leading the charge and bringing these lawsuits. Like, hat tip to them, hat tip to Katie Fang at the MeidasTouch Network for her leadership in the Epstein Transparency Act lawsuits, fighting for the survivors against Todd Blanche. Katie Fang, incredible. I just love to see lawsuits like this being filed. And let me show you where they mention, obviously Donald Trump is being sued because he's the ringleader of this scheme. But who's involved in the conspiracy? Natalie Harp, the human printer. Donald Trump's human printer. The person who lots of people say is probably, I don't know. We all know, but there you have it. Natalie Harp, an executive assistant to Donald Trump, is sued in her official capacity. Along with defendant Scavino, Harp is one of two aides to the president who have access to his Truth Social account, and she regularly publishes President Trump's Truth Social posts on his behalf. Reports indicate that Harp is the primary White House staffer, helping Donald Trump post on his Truth Social account. Trump reportedly approves the content of his posts via physically printed out drafts, at which point Harp goes on to the president's Truth Social account and posts for the president. You also have Dan Scavino over there, and, I'm just giving you my opinion about Natalie Harp, reading from the complaint, but I give you my opinion as protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution. I don't really know what's going on there. Do you know what's going on there with Trump and Harp? But they're awfully close. They're awfully buddy-buddy, we'll just say. And she looks a little bit like Ivanka, we'll just say. I don't know. I'm ignorant of the true facts. I'll just leave it at that. But what I'm not ignorant of is what this complaint said. What I'm not ignorant of is the legal analysis here. And this is a strong lawsuit with the right law. Notice what these entities are saying for standing is, yes, the market manipulation that's taking place is bad. It's unlawful, they're saying. Or they're arguing, but they're saying it's unlawful from their perspective as the press to report on this. You get it? They're saying that they've got a First Amendment right to report equal to anybody, and that this is the President of the United States. Sadly, he is. And so you can't sell preferential access when you're in this position. You have to post it. You can't profit off of your data and your information. And so that's the angle that they're talking about when they say unlawful and unconstitutional. I think that there is a lot of other red flags and major issues with the Wall Street firms who are buying access to this information. And by the way, I don't think that I'm giving you my opinion again, my legal opinion, but again, feel free to disagree with my legal opinion. I think that they may get in trouble in future presidential administrations and future Department of Justices, because this whole scheme seems like a way to access inappropriately insider information, if that's indeed what's taking place. I'm just giving you my opinion. But what this lawsuit's saying is you can't give preferential access, and Natalie Harp is working with Donald Trump to do this, so they get sued. I want to see that Natalie Harp deposition. I want to see the Trump deposition here. And what's Trump going to argue? This is my individual capacity, not official. Great. Then you've waived immunity. And right, just think about that, the trap that gets set. So let's say Trump says, this isn't my government. This is just me in my personal capacity. Great. You've now officially waived immunity, you see? And now you're personally liable, and you can't claim the absolute immunity that the Supreme Court gave you one bit. So we'll see what goes on there. Hat tip to The Intercept and the Freedom of Press Foundation for filing this lawsuit. Trump, Natalie Harp sued. Thanks everybody for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Get your copy of WTF America, the book I wrote with my brothers. Pre-order it right now. Our publisher says this book has a lot of momentum, but those pre-orders are key. Don't wait until October if you're able to pre-order it now. You can Google WTF America. We'll put a link in the description. It's by Hatchet. They're our publisher. Make sure you let us know in the comments if you bought it. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, if you want the full story, how democracy got here and how we take it back, pre-order our new book, WTF America, today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Let's do this.